Welcome. You got your favorite fools here.
What up, full fam? How are you guys doing today?
Woo-hoo! We're so happy you're here.
You guys, we're so excited to be doing a New Year's episode.
Are you guys ready for the new year?
I'm honestly not really ready, to be honest.
No,
like it's coming too quickly for me.
Me either.
That's why I'm like not ready. I'm like excited. Of course, I'm always excited for New Year, but it's intense.
Okay, sorry to interrupt. What is like one thing that you're aspiring, you want to happen, you want to change, you want to accomplish? Just like one
a manifestation kind of thing?
Yeah, exactly. What's a manifestation you want for 2022? It can be anything, even small, big, small.
I think for me, I want to put myself out there more.
Ooh, I love that.
I think for me, I tend to easily fall into like my ways, and like I like to be what I like. You know, I was like, I'm really comfortable with my relationships that I have, with my friendships, and like I'm always comfortable with what I have. But I want to put myself in things that make me slightly more uncomfortable during 2022.
So good. Just
to try to like get out of my comfort zone a little bit more, because this year's already been like so intense.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I think I need to kind of explore more avenues of things. Like even like, listen, I'm not like a go out person. Like I never will be. But like saying yes more to things like that, I'm like, well, maybe I should try to experience more things.
I think so too. I think that's like a really good one.
Thank you. And what about you?
I want to, so like all my self-help books.
Yeah.
I'm currently reading one now, so it's like spiked a couple things. I'm trying to figure out like all my things for 2022.
Yeah, like what you want to kind of
like
put your energy into.
And like they always help guide me into like the direction. And I've decided that I want to just be more confident. And that is like in literally
I love that.
Everything. Like every single thing I'm doing, myself, talking, like every single aspect of my life, I want to do it with confidence. And I feel like as a human being, naturally some areas I lack that, and like I want to just be like, you know what, all the little voices in your head don't matter, be confident. Like,
do you know what I wish sometimes, like I'm thinking about, I wish that you saw me the way I see you. And I don't mean that in like a cheesy way. I mean that in like a way of like you're the best friend I've ever had, and like you're so incredible and so amazing, and like there's nothing about you that I don't like.
That's so
like
sweet.
In a genuine way. I'm not even saying that to be like up your ass. But like, totally. And I wish that, because like to me, like you're a star. You know what I mean? So it's like I wish sometimes you can jump into my mind and see you the way I see you, because it's like there's no.
Likewise.
Like if you did, you would never feel not confident
I
about
feel like
anything.
you're a pretty confident person though. Like I see your confidence.
Sometimes
it's inspiring. Yeah, you do have, I would say you have more confidence than me in a lot of areas.
And so
it's like, it's like inspiring to see. And it's like, I need to like, and the number one thing that like takes confidence away is those little annoying voices.
It's the inner saboteur.
It's the subconscious, the limited beliefs.
Voices. Honestly, they're really frustrating, and like we have to, as humans, like really realize that they're like, it's not our voice. It's like they're intrusive thoughts, they're not our voices, and it's not like what we're actually thinking about ourselves. That it's just random things jumping into our thoughts that we're not genuinely like creating ourselves with our own consciousness.
They like are in the driver's seat though
of
our life.
Annoying.
And the thing is, I found through my studies, but I found that the only way to really understand them and really to defeat them, get rid of them, is to understand why that's happening and like why you think like that. It like helps you put an understanding, so you can go, oh, okay, I get what's happening. That's not true. Let me think this way. You know what I mean? So it's like a deep dive process, but I've been working on it.
And but see, I think it's like the first step is acknowledging.
Yeah,
and the fact that realizing what's actually going on. And like that's the first part, is like you're like, okay, I know this about myself. Let me kind of figure out a way, because like in a way, like your self-help books in a way is therapy for a lot of other people. Like going to therapy is a way, is like you reading self-help is like it's bettering you as a human being. And if you're not like going to therapy, you doesn't want to go to therapy, that's totally fine too. But it's like in a way you're bettering yourself as a human being, and that's always what we need to strive to do as humans in general, is to just do more, and do better, and grow, and like never try to plateau. And the thing is, I feel like in my life sometimes I do plateau.
Yeah, I do.
You know what
too.
I mean? I feel like sometimes I do.
I'm going to chime in here,
Ty's
guys.
chiming in.
I want to ask you guys something.
Ooh.
I want to hear your thorn and your rose from 2021.
What's that?
Laura, explain it to him.
Best and worst thing.
Oh, best and worst of 2021?
It can be like obstacle thing that happened, thing about you. I don't know.
Your thorn and your rose.
I think
from 2021.
I'll say my thorn is, I think, like dealing with so much, and like so much shit happened that I don't talk about on camera. I'm gonna cry. I'm like losing my mom, but like that, I like worked myself to death to like not deal with it.
Yeah, I know.
So that's definitely a thorn. I'm like, great. Now this episode's supposed to be giving advice. I'm a fucking wreck.
No, but I think that because we've gone through genuinely so much.
Right.
That I feel like, and listen, I'm not saying that we're like amazing advice givers and that we're like the best advice people ever.
We're literally
like we've
claimed
lived
to be terrible.
I know. We've just lived like really intense. I mean, like literally, like I was like, when I did like the Snapchat show and like I was like, and the reason I even did it when I was like not taking care, but taking under my wing a little bit of those people that were in the LGBT community that wanted to come out. It's like because I've had a very tough upcoming out when I was coming out, so I lived that. So it's like you talking about your experience with your mom could be so. People hearing that they can find so much strength in that in a way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting.
Honestly, losing Sam is my thorn. So yeah, that's like mine and. It's very strange because I don't want to like talk about it too much either.
I know it's like something you're not ready to talk about.
It's like what I've come to like when people say like it comes in waves.
Yeah,
that's a very strange thing because I never understood it, and then now it's actually happening to me. Where it's very strange. Where it's like the first, obviously when I heard the news immediately, it was like
it's like shock,
horrible. Like it's shock. It's
shocking.
And then for that whole week, I was like just devastated. And then for a week, 2 weeks after, I was like didn't cry. I was like, oh, like I'll be able to get through this. And then literally like the day after, like those 2 weeks, for 3 days straight, I was crying about it. And it's like so weird that it can like come in waves and flows and ebbs, and it's like this weird thing because I'm trying to. You know, because I want to remember her every day, and I do, and I think about her every single day, and it's hard not to. But it's hard to grieve. Like grieving is just a hard thing. Like I don't.
Yeah.
And I almost wish.
It's like hard to understand.
It's hard to understand. Like I almost wish I'm like, can I just grieve all at one time?
Oh my
and
God,
like,
no! Wouldn't that be
like,
so nice? It's like haunt you for the rest of your fucking life, to be honest.
And like, but I didn't know that because I never dealt with grief. Someone close immediately like this.
Yeah.
Like we're like, other than this year, you know what I mean? And like. I never really knew that when someone's close to you like that, like it doesn't really go away.
No.
So what's the good thing that happened? I apologize for that question. I didn't know it was going to go that
You triggered me.
I would like to apologize, but let's talk about what
our rose.
What
we have rose
good
lifting,
happened.
I'm gonna have a fit.
No, it's not.
What's the best thing that happened to you guys this year? This past year?
I mean, a lot of good shit happened.
There's been so many amazing things.
Like
it's hard to
put
think
a
about.
crown as being like, this is the best of the best.
It doesn't have to be the best of the best. What's just one good thing that happened to you?
It's like I'd hate to say something that's mediocre. Like this is
after like the hard thorn that we had.
I'll say that was the thorn.
I feel like you this year have explored more relationships with people.
You know what?
I feel like that's a good rose for you potentially.
Actually, you're so. I love how you told me my rose.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't possibly agree with you more because. I remember when we got into quarantine, I was like, honestly, kind of happy because I was ready to close off all relationships. And I don't know why I get like that because we
went through like a weird phase though. Like,
yeah.
Like we kind of like had this conversation.
I'm like weird about energy too. Like I like to, like if you let me be alone, I'll be alone.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like I'll take every bit of that. Like I'm just at a stage of my life where I'm like really happy alone. Like obviously with my family too.
No, of course, we're right.
But like not letting new
relationships
relationships
not having to form more. Yes.
Like
yes,
I love not having to put that energy out. Like that is my ultimate comfort zone. And then I remember towards like the end of quarantine, I was like, fuck, I like spent a year like not forming any new relationships and not nurturing any relationship at all except for like my family and you.
Right.
And literally that's it.
That's like literally what it was.
I was like, fuck, that's not good. So I made one of my goals this year and I talked to you about it. I was like, I'm going to say yes more. Like people are nice here in LA. They always invite us. I never go and I tend to stick to myself. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to be a trooper and I'm not going to be like, I'm ready to go home. I'm going to have a good time. Like that was my goal. And I feel like I did it.
Yeah, 100%. I completely feel like you did that 100%.
Right? Like I formed many new friendships with people I hang out with all the time now. And like I genuinely enjoy it. And these are people I haven't ever really been that close to in my life. And now I have like good relationships with them.
And they have several good friends.
I have several.
Like really good friends. And like, I know obviously all your friends and they're all incredible. They're my friends too. But like, it's just cool, like getting to see you flourish in that way.
Yeah.
Because there was a while that you were just completely closed off from forming new relationships. Totally. And it's hard because we've been so burned and like, I understood exactly where you're coming from. And it's like, I don't actually have the energy to give. Or
my
want
thing
to.
is like after like being burned and like going through so many poor relationships, I was just honestly like, I'm fine being like with you and Daniel and my family. Like I'm good for the rest of my life. Like
no, totally. No, exactly.
I'm good. And then I realized like that's just like not growing, not realistic.
Yeah, it's not realistic and it's not growing.
And so I need to get my shit together. What about you? What was your rose?
Oh, actually, now I forgot. My rose. Actually, I don't know. I don't even know what the fuck my rose would be. I was trying to think of it when you were when you were talking too.
So much good happened.
But I feel like for me, I think getting to see my family more, like I feel like I've been trying this year more to like go and like spend real quality time with like people in my life more than before. I feel
this year more.
You know, like going to San Diego to see my family and like saying yes to more of those opportunities with them.
I feel like you used to get FOMO
like
more and you get less FOMO. Like I feel like you've changed in that way.
You're so right. I feel like I used to be a lot more almost like codependent in like a way of like with people in general, like not even just with Laura, with like everyone in my life. I was always like, I always felt like I was missing out all the time. But I think that this year I'm a lot less.
I've seen like a ton of change in that way.
Well, I'm glad that you think that, because I feel like for me, I think again that's part of growing. I think it's hard for me though, because I think I'll always have a little bit of it in me because I don't have a partner.
That's natural.
You know what I mean? And I also don't have a partner, so I don't have like someone that can like be that person that rock for me all the time, like that lives with me or anything like that. So I think I'll always have a little bit of like this weird like, it's, you know what's so funny? Like I was just talking about this with like a friend of mine, is that sometimes I feel like as a single gay man, I have this like Peter Pan syndrome. And it's not me. Like I just naturally have it. Like because I'm not like in a relationship, like I'm not growing in that way, and that I'm like stuck at this like same like emotional age. And like I obviously grow in like different ways and I grow with relationships, but like sometimes it's like so crazy to see people in my life around me, like, you know, obviously people getting married and like having kids, like people from back home having kids and all this stuff. And I always feel like I'm like in like the same spot. Yeah. In a weird way. And sometimes I get down on myself for it. Like, and it's not like I don't try. It's not like I don't try to date people. It's not like I don't try to do any things, but it's just so strange that like sometimes I feel like I'm like in this one like weird little it's like I'm like Groundhog's Day. Yeah. Yeah. I literally sometimes feel like I'm in Groundhog's Day, and it's like the most fascinating, weird feeling in the whole world. And sometimes I feel like I'm going to get left behind by like everyone in my life because I'm in the same spot.
Don't feel that way.
It's hard not to.
But like me and my family, like we've grown with you. Like any changes, like think about it. We used to not have Aaron and now we do. And now it's like
I'm part of Aaron's life.
Exactly. It's like an extension of you now. Like you get more.
I know. And I love it.
But it's like genuinely totally reasonable to have those thoughts. Because I would probably have those thoughts too, to be honest. I'd be like, oh my gosh, like I don't have those things, or I'm not gaining those things. Like, am I going to get left behind, or they're going to move on without me? Like it makes sense. But
it's weird. It's like a very
I would encourage you obviously
feeling.
To not. Yeah, like I understand it, but I would obviously encourage you to not. I'm like,
no, totally. Don't think that.
Don't think that.
Don't think that.
It's
and
so
this
easy.
Is like,
just don't think that.
This is like
I
the
hate
part.
when that's people's advice. I'm like, shut the
no,
fuck
but this is also like my inner saboteur. Like what I was talking about. We were talking about like the inner voices being like saying like, oh, you're gonna be alone forever. Everyone's gonna move on without you. It's like all this kind of like weird, constant like. And listen, like it's like. Not something I think about all the time, right? But like I'll have like a moment like, where I just stop and I'm like,
it comes up occasionally.
Yeah, it just like kind of comes up and I'm like, am I gonna be like alone forever? Am I gonna like be left behind like by people? Like, it's like this weird thing, and I know I won't because I have you and I have like my family and I have so many people in my life. But it's like this very weird thing.
Have you ever had a moment in your life whenever you had no friends and you were really left behind?
Yeah. In high school.
Maybe that's why you're like scared that that's gonna come back and happen again.
I had a best friend in high school that like
that's right. You told me that
one time, and like I think that ever since then, because it was like almost like like it was like a brother to me. Yeah. And then like one day just never talking to me again.
That's so crazy.
Like, that happening, like I just felt like this like weird abandonment in like a weird way, and like the fact that I've always been this like self-soothed person, because again, like growing up Mormon and growing up LD, like and like growing up so closeted, I was always so like honed in on my own mind. Constantly, because I was like, well, I don't want anyone to know anything about me, because like I'm like trying to hide who I am for so long.
You have a lot to hide.
I had so much to hide, and now it's like I don't, but I still have like that same trauma from like hiding for so long and like being alone for so long. So I never felt like anyone understood me, and like in a way they didn't, because I didn't have people in my life that even knew. People
that were like around like were like. In a way,
I was in church.
That a bit.
Yeah. In a way, like it wasn't normal. It was like I was like secretly praying the gay away. So it's like this weird thing where like I've been so stunted emotionally from such a young age that like now as I'm older, like it's like unpacking all that, and like I'm getting through it, of course. But it's really fascinating to kind of look back and be like, wow, I can't believe I've been through all of this, and like I'm here now, and I'm proud of me. Yeah, I'm proud that I'm gotten to this point. But it is a very weird thing.
But like from the person I met you like 5 or 6 years ago to now, like you actually are like a different person.
Yeah.
So it just goes to show like how much you actually have grown emotionally and like as a person. Yeah.
Well,
yeah, of course.
What
a loaded question to ask.
I honestly like I Tyler never thought that this was gonna be
that he's like never mind.
And then also by the way, this episode's like gonna be shorter than normal because we're literally like, okay, we're gonna do like little. We wanted to do like holiday episodes in a way where we're doing like a New Year's episode and like a little Christmas special. For like, but like a shorter episode just because we wanted to like, you know, still we were pre-filming and wanted to do that for you guys, but we're like, okay, we can't film like 3 hours worth in 1 second. It's just a lot.
Yeah, our studio closes like our technical back support closes.
Our back support closes
for the holidays, so we're having a pre-film.
For weeks.
We're going to take a break.
Yes.
And we're going to be right back after this.
And we're back.
Hey.
But you guys, so what I decided to do is I asked you guys on Instagram if like just advice that you guys had, and I thought it would be the perfect time to do like almost an advice segment dedicated to obviously you guys going into the new year. Because you know, obviously even like us having our own conversations, like we're not the most like well-knowledge people in the world, clearly, but
we ain't got all the answers.
We don't have all the answers.
But we're going to give you the best that we got.
Yeah, the unsolicited, solicited advice.
advice.
So I actually end up screenshotting a couple. Ooh. And I'm so excited about it. Okay, so we're going to probably start off like a little softer.
All right, let's start off soft.
I have 2 in here that are like
warm
4-parters.
Give us a warm. Oh.
We're gonna do a couple warm-ups that I'm like, okay, it's not too crazy.
Not too
and Tyler, you will be chiming in here and there, and so don't forget.
You can tap the headphones and I'll put them on.
Okay, cool. That's what we'll do. Okay, so let's go and start off with the first one. We have. Oh my God, how funny that this is like one of the questions, as I just talked about this. How do you get over being ghosted by someone you really cared for?
How funny.
That's so strange that I screenshot that because like. That was not planned to talk about.
You know, ghosting can be really traumatizing because
clearly
it leaves so many unanswered things, and immediately, obviously, anyone that gets ghosted goes, "What did I do wrong?"
Yep.
Like, what did I do to make this person
you ghost me?
The fuck out?
I think that when it comes to ghosting, as someone who has been ghosted many times, like not just one time from a friend, but like other like with like dating and stuff like that. I think you have to kind of realize that the ghosting, it's not your fault because if that person is emotionally unintelligent enough to ghost you without explanation, it's honestly their loss.
Very on them.
It's on them. And so you can't think that the ghosting situation is your fault. That's them as a communicator. Like if you're a ghoster, then like you honestly like dodged a bullet.
And one of the best pieces of advice I've like ever received in my life, and I use it all the time, and it cures away so much anxiety and like sadness from me. Don't take it personal.
Oh, 100%.
And I know that that's like so easier said than done, but if you can, like even some scenarios I'll build in my head that the case is so cut clear. Totally. I'm like, no ma'am, we're not doing this. Don't take it personal. That's on them and whatever they got going on. And it doesn't have anything to do with you. Like maybe they have issues. Maybe something happened in their life, and I'll create a scenario where it's not personally me, it's them. Unless I've done something horrible to someone, well then you don't want to neglect that and be like, of course. I don't know what could have happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. But like in retrospect, if you're just getting ghosted,
like don't take it personal. And I know again, easier said than done, but work on that practice, because the more you like implement it, the stronger you get at like being like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna move on. You're right, it's them, not me. I'm moving on.
And it's not a race to get over something. Like it's gonna take time. Like for me, it took me a long time to get over when my friend ghosted me in high school, and I beat myself up for so long.
That's what we don't want you to do, though. It's like beating yourself.
Yeah, exactly. We don't want you to do that
year after year.
So I just like that again, for coming from my personal experience. Like once I realized that it wasn't actually me and it was their emotional unintelligence, essentially. It was a lot easier to handle and a lot easier to get through, because I was like, oh, it's not my fault, and it's not your fault that you were ghosted. No, it's just on them.
Absolutely honestly. Not. Absolutely not.
Period. Todd, do you have anything to add to that?
No.
He said, agreed. He said, I completely agree, bitches.
Next advice.
Okay, next one. How do you socialize after 2 years of a pandemic?
Girl, let
Which
me
is
tell
very
you,
accurate. Because this is literally exactly what you're talking about.
That also is accurate. It's hard. Honestly, I found myself in like going back out to events and like different scenarios.
I think that's a big one.
Yeah.
Saying yes to things.
Which is hard to do because sometimes when I was there, I was like, I feel very socially awkward, and I'm not a socially awkward person. Like I can totally talk to anyone.
Oh, 100%. Like you absolutely can. But I think that putting yourself in those situations that are a little bit more uncomfortable is going to help you grow as a human being. Like even me, like one of my resolutions is literally to say yes more and put myself out there a little bit more. And because I definitely have socially awkward moments myself all the fucking time, and like I can be a very extroverted person, but I'm naturally very introverted. So for me, I get easily into my head, and it's so easy to do that. So again, just try to say yes to experiences more with friends or family, anyone.
And the more you do, the more you go, the more you experience, like the less socially awkward it's going to be. But like you eventually have to get out there and like practice it. And so who fucking cares if you're social? I literally have talked to so many socially awkward people, and like I already have like my list of questions I'm going to ask them in my head, because that conversation's never getting dry with me, baby. I'm going to, well, you're going to give it to me all. So like, I don't know. And if it's socially awkward, walk away. Like,
and like, I think that knowing that it's going to be awkward is like a little easier that way too. It's like knowing that like, okay, like, you know what, it's going to be hard for me to socialize, putting stuff out there, and it might not be the best the first time. It probably won't, to be honest. So you have to think about like, okay, I know it might not go over the best in this moment, but I'm going to keep trying until it gets easier and easier and easier. And like, honestly, you know, you become a master of something you practice constantly. So if you're practicing being social in a way, not actually like practicing, but like going out and socializing, that in a way is practice.
You can also start in a safe place, like having like 2 or 3 friends over.
Totally. Or like going to a lunch.
Yeah.
Making it like super easy or very like.
You don't got to jump in at Club La Vila, baby.
No, exactly. It can be a very like chill kind of introduction, but definitely putting yourself out there. I know it's hard, but saying yes to opportunities is going to help you.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it, baby.
Just do it.
Just fucking do
like
it.
Nike.
Nike. Okay. Okay. I have one.
What?
How do I tell my friends that they're not bridesmaids? This is haunting, to be honest. That's
let me tell you,
bit.
this one resonates with me.
It resonates.
Because you're not going to like my answer. You can do what I did. I didn't have any showers. I like literally, if I was pregnant, I would never have a baby shower ever.
Right, because
that would be a living hell to me.
And like, oh my god,
a wedding. I didn't have a wedding. I didn't have a wedding shower.
You like eloped, right? With Tyler.
Courthouse, not really eloped.
Is that eloped?
Eloped means whenever no, that just means you go to the courthouse. I think eloping is whenever you like leave and you go off and get married, like on a vacation. Okay.
I was thinking that it was like that same thing was eloping. It was like just going to a courthouse wedding.
But I avoided it all because I felt like you. I was like, I would never be able to pick, and it's just like constant. I had been in so many weddings, like so many of my friends' weddings, that I was like, I will never do this. Like that's all that taught me. I was like, I will never ever do this. This is not okay.
Do you know what I was thinking about too? Is that like I think people have to understand that it's a wedding and it's your day. It's your time. It's your time to make decisions.
Feelings are gonna get hurt though.
And feelings might get hurt. But like, honestly, again, like it's more so about you and your partner than it is about the friends of a friend that you might have as a bridesmaid. You know what I mean?
Like doing it the respectable way and like not just shooting a text or not just like not inviting those people that might get their feelings hurt. Maybe sitting down and having like a conversation with them, because the open line of communication
is always key.
Yeah.
It depends also like how good the friend is too.
But if the friend ain't that good, then girl, why you even think you need to be in the wedding?
It literally has to be like a close friend
that you just can't have.
It just
didn't make the cut.
Didn't make the cut. Like I was like, okay, well if they didn't make the cut, then they didn't make the fucking cut. Like, dude, it is what it is. But I feel like if it's just like a regular like friend, like that's just like a Joe Schmo friend that you barely see like maybe once every
they shouldn't even
year.
Expect to be in your wedding.
They shouldn't expect it, and so you shouldn't feel awkward about it. It's like, girl, don't expect too much.
But if it's like your sister or somebody,
then make them your bridesmaid.
Then you really make them your bridesmaid.
Have a bridesmaid of 12.
Yeah.
At that point, because we don't even know what to tell you.
That stuff gets so hard and awkward.
Tricky,
it ruins lives. It ruins lives every day.
Does it really?
I think so.
It could. It ruins relationships. Dude, that's for sure.
Yeah, it does.
It ruins fucking relationships. It does. For sure.
I'm
so just be. You gotta be cautious with that one. You gotta be careful.
You gotta be careful.
Again, mind you, it's about you. People need to be understanding. It's your wedding, and you need to be happy because it's a very stressful time.
Exactly.
Period. Okay, should I do one of the long ones?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
It's a 4-parter, so we're gonna read it off good and well. I have a friend who makes me feel like it's a chore to hang out with her. She's always making me feel guilty about spending time with my boyfriend. I work a lot, and so does he. The little time I have, I want to hang out with him. So, of course, I've distanced myself. I don't know what to do. It's a chore hanging out with her.
I think it's very clear that her and her friend are at 2 different points in their life.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%.
Like 2 different things are going on, and it's not niching in the middle.
I think the weird part for me is the fact that the friend's making you feel super guilty for wanting to spend time with your man.
That's what happens when you get booed up. When you all booed up.
It's natural. I'm like, this is like not like a hello.
Like if you got booed up, I would really expect you to be spending a lot of your evenings with your new man. Like
right. But then of course, like naturally I like make time for you. Just
as she does for her
what
friend.
She does for her. But like it's just weird, like because if you have a friend that's making it almost like that you feel it's a chore to hang out with them, I think that's the time to snip. Because I think that's one of the tall tale signs of ending a friendship is feeling that like if you feel like it's a chore to hang out with someone and that it's hard to hang out with someone and they're making you feel guilty for not wanting to see them, I think that's time to kind of cut the cord. Yeah. For me, that's just like my personal opinion because I think that's too much.
Listen, I think there's always a really strong importance in a marriage to keep outside friends. I think it's like really important for married people to have friends that aren't their partner.
100%.
I think that's so important. I think like sometimes that doesn't happen. I feel like you put yourself in a situation when there's no support outside of your spouse. And so I feel like that's a danger zone, red flag. But there are more people out there than just her, I'm sure. And it's like, obviously she is making you feel miserable around her. So like, I agree. See you later.
I think it's time to nip in the bud.
And maybe she'll change. Maybe she'll like figure it out and then you can go back. But
I think it's definitely worth having a conversation because she is your friend. I think that common conversation about it, be like, hey, sometimes I feel like you make me feel like, you know, like I'm like the worst person ever for not wanting to hang out with you when I am super busy, my man's super busy, and I want to facilitate that friendship because that relationship because that could be like a lifelong partner. You know what I mean? So it's really, really important that that friend understands where you're coming from because maybe they don't even know it. Maybe they just literally think you're just saying fuck the friendship and like I'm just with my new man now.
Yeah, that would be the easier thing to do.
Some people are like that.
That would be the easier thing to do.
Oh, yeah. It would be a lot easier, but
the better
that's a real
thing,
friend.
a little communication.
Communication is key. Communication is key. Tyler, do you have any opinions on this one?
Yes.
Oh, let me go ahead and pop my fucking earpiece to my ear.
I was just going to say, maybe this isn't the case, but you are allowed to outgrow friends.
That's true. You really are. You're allowed to outgrow friends.
It sounds like this person is growing into a different person, and that doesn't mean the other person isn't growing, but you guys are growing in different directions. Exactly.
Yeah, just like a different path.
And it might be better for her to find someone to hang out with that has a little more time.
Yeah. Or you set boundaries, and she responds well to it.
Yeah.
Totally. I think it's absolutely the truth. We've grown out of friendships with people many times.
Yeah.
And it's just like again, different trajectories, different paths, different mindsets. I think it's really, really important too. Is like you can, for example, I am single, a gay man, you're a married straight woman. We are not the same. Yeah. But we have similar wavelengths. And so we're always like gonna be on that same kind of like path, that level of understanding. And even though we have such different lives, doesn't mean that we don't have each other's back at all times.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that again, you have to find people that are on that same kind of wavelength. Yep. You have to find your tribe.
Gotta find your tribe. That means you gotta cut some out.
You gotta trim some fat.
Trim some fat.
Good job, Tyler.
All right.
That was a toughie.
Woo!
That was a toughie. It was a toughie.
Good.
Okay, next one. As a stay-at-home mom, should I feel guilty asking my partner for money for myself?
So, okay, this is the thing. Me and Ty have shared a bank account for like I don't know how many years, like
for a long time.
Before, was it before we were married? I think it was like right before we got married. Yeah, he's shaking his head. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So we've never been in a situation where we've had to like ask for money because we've always shared our money. But we're both very, very responsible people with money. Like we both have always lived way under our means of what we could live. So we haven't been in that situation, but growing up, like my parents didn't share a bank account and there was very little money. So like, I totally get like situations are different. So like asking a spouse for money, that's something, I don't know. It's like an odd concept.
It gets a little hairy. I think
it gets
that's
hairy
a very
because it's
concept.
like, is there money for extra spending? And if there is,
let's say there is.
Okay, let's say there is.
There is extra money
this
for
is
spending.
what I need. I need that. Okay,
let's say there is extra money for spending.
Shouldn't your husband want you to have things for yourself?
Absolutely.
Okay.
To me, like immediately, I'm thinking like you shouldn't actually feel awkward about it because you being a stay-at-home mom is a full-time job.
Yeah.
And just
it's
because you're not
something you guys agreed to.
Exactly. And just because you're not out working doesn't mean you don't deserve to be compensated for it in some way.
Yeah.
And like that is something that you guys agreed on in your guys' relationship and you're the stay-at-home mom, and that doesn't mean that you should ever feel awkward, be like, hey babe, I need money for this. Like don't ever feel awkward about it. I don't think that you should. Like let's say there's extra money for it.
Yeah.
You're putting your part in at the end of the day.
I think too, when moms do things for themselves, buy things for themselves, take care of themselves, spend money on themselves, they show their children that they are what they're worth, and they show their children that they are worth something too, and they deserve things. Like, because my mom did the opposite. My mom never did anything for herself. She never bought anything for herself. If we had a penny, she'd spend it on someone else. And I hate so much that she did that. It would have been nice if she actually bought, because I think it taught a lot of values to me and my brother and sister that we're not worthy.
Right.
Sitting back watching that for so many years.
Like you think about it, you're like, why didn't she get herself nice things too?
Yeah, I'm like, Mom, you were so worthy, of more. And it's like whenever, as a parent, you show your children what you're worth, like they learn what they're worth and what they can aspire and what they deserve. So, but two, I hope is that your husband wants you to have things to make you happy.
I agree. So I think that you shouldn't feel awkward about it. I think that you are, as a full-time mom, like you're absolutely contributing just as much as they are, and they're part of the relationship. So don't ever feel guilty for wanting some cash to fucking spend or anything.
Get your nails done, your hair's done,
dude. Feel good about yourself.
Go to Target, buying some random shit, going to Ross. Do
whatever the fuck you want to do. Don't feel bad about it.
No, buy a new PJs, like whatever it is that you're wanting that are like material things. Yes, you deserve those.
And you work fucking hard. And listen, being a mom is a 24/7 job.
Yeah.
When like let's say the husband or wife, whoever it might be, is going to work, they're working at work and then they come back and it's like, okay, I'm off work.
I can tell
you're
you
a full-time
this, though,
person. Like come on.
Like I don't even have kids, and I'm like a worker type person, like
totally.
Literally, you know how I am. Anyways, but if let's say I didn't and I just stayed at home and Ty like made all the money, like went to work, and I didn't contribute into putting money in the pot, I can tell you right now, Ty would still want me to be spoiled.
Absolutely. And he would never like
even without
expect
kids,
you to even ask.
No,
like he would just automatically do it.
No, but I understand like situations get hairy and things are different, but at the same time, I just want you to know you deserve to have things, and your children 100%. Need to see you like take care of yourself and have things.
Yeah, you deserve it. Everyone deserves to spoil themselves a little bit. Within like obviously like within reason, but like everyone deserves a little spoiling of themselves. Come on now, you deserve it. Don't feel
baby,
guilty.
You're gonna have to sling some of that coin my way.
That's fucking right.
You can watch these kiddos.
Exactly. So we're on the last one.
Okay.
We have I'm pregnant for the this is like a longer one.
Okay.
I'm pregnant for the first time, but my older sister has been struggling with fertility. Should I announce to my family all at once, like the happy moment it should be? Or tell her first alone and hope she's not too sad to come to Christmas when I do announce it. By the way, we'll be the first grandchild and a big announcement, essentially, because it's the first one. I'm so happy, but scared and sad because I love my sister and she's been struggling for years.
I would feel the exact same way.
I 100% agree. I feel terrible about it.
I would feel so like torn up and like terrible, like but it's like such a happy moment. It's like she's getting robbed of her happy moment because of another one. So I think she needs to pull her sister aside.
I agree. when she said like, should I pull her? Like, I was because that's actually in the thing.
100%.
Yes. The whole
100%.
Should say it like should I tell her first alone? 100%.
Because it's just
I say pull her aside, tell her alone.
Situation.
It does. It's obviously like, but it's not your fault. Like it's not your fault, and you should be able to have a happy moment. And so having the conversation, having pull aside, like, hey, I know it's been a struggle for you, but I want to tell you that I am pregnant. And I honestly, as your sister, I'm sure she'll be so happy for you.
That's the thing too. And honestly, she'll probably feel kind of special that when you announce it, she's like,
heard first.
Bitch, I knew.
I've been fucking new,
like,
bitch.
How special would you feel if you were the only person in that room besides the husband or the boyfriend? I knew. Like,
I knew.
It gives like a little bit of special to the sister. And plus, like if the sister was going to get, like, I think your sister would be floored and shocked and devastated, honestly, if you just were like, surprise!
Yeah. And honestly, it's like a respecting too. Like she would feel like so respected by you as like a sister that you came to her and you're like, hey, like this is what's going on. And I know it's scary because she's been struggling, and like I cannot even imagine like the struggle like that is. It must be so horrible. But again, this is like about you and your time and your family, and I think that letting her know, she's gonna respect that. And I think that
she would be really big of you.
I completely
to do
agree.
Something so mature like that.
And I think she would respect it. Honestly, I think your sister would 100% respect it.
Anybody should.
Absolutely, and she loves you.
Yeah,
like she loves you, and you love her, and you're coming from a place of love. Obviously, as long as you're coming in like from a place of caring and loving and understanding that she's going through something tough, but that you also have a great thing you want to announce. I think that's exactly what it needs to be.
Also, I feel like she would be shocked and kind of devastated in the moment, but I feel like if you told her, like, she can then walk away, process it a little bit, cry about it if she needs to, marinate on it, and that way when you announce to the family, she can be happy for you because she kind of was able to have that moment privately instead of just like shocked.
Exactly. So we vote tell her alone.
Tell her alone.
And obviously she has to process that, but I think that sooner than later towards the Christmas time
the
is
announcement,
definitely
give her more time as long as no one's spilling the beans.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that would be
this is actually coming out after the holidays.
Oh.
Well, regardless, tell her as soon as you possibly can.
Tell your sister. We didn't DM that girl. Tell your sister.
We're literally, I'm like, probably, honestly, I probably will DM her and be like, you should tell your sister about that.
Yeah. Is that it for today's episode?
That is it for today's episode. Our little short New Year's episode. Woo! We hope you guys have the most amazing 2022. You guys definitely start manifesting now for things that you want.
List some of your goals, manifestations,
Write it
things
down.
you want to achieve. List them in the comments. We want to read through.
Oh my God, I would love to read through that.
Like, yeah.
I would love that.
I always get inspired. That's what humans are. We just feed off each other. So I always get inspired. I'm like, ooh, I need to work on that too. Or, ooh, that's a good one. You know what I mean?
I completely agree.
Give me some
things.
Phenomenal. Give me some
please
things.
We will be obviously reading the comments. We do it all the time. So please let us know. And like, honestly, you can share with other people, the other full fam that's down there. Have conversations, make some fucking friends.
Make some friends in the comments, people.
And we love you guys. We love you so much. And we're so excited to have full coverage keep going in 2022.
Whoop, whoop. See you guys later.
See you next year.
Bye.
Bye.